wonder how I got these scars. My father was a drinker and a fiend. And one night, he goes up crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit. So, me watching, he takes the knife to her, laughing while he does it. Turns to me, and he says, "Why so serious?" Comes at me with a knife. "Why so serious?" Sticks the blade into my mouth. "Let's put a smile on that face." And why so serious? Now, our operation is small, but there's a lot of potential for aggressive expansion. So what did you find, John, to join our team? Oh, there's only one spot open right now, so we are gonna have tryouts. Make it fast. I actually did perform that monologue when I was at a 4-year junior college here in Texas. And everyone really enjoyed it. But anyway, hello everyone, this is Matthew once again, and continuing with my review of the Batman film, so sorry for this being such a long delay. So, previously, as I continue on with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which I'm a fan of, and before I do that, I actually have this book right here that has the complete script for each of the films of the trilogy. Pretty cool. I even have this bad boy right here, the art to make of the Dark Knight trilogy. But before I show you this book right here, as I was saying, last time I reviewed was Batman Begins, which I really love. I just watched it again after watching it a few weeks ago when I reviewed this movie and really loved it. Loved the story, the characters, the way how it sets out how Bruce Wayne became Batman and how Christopher Nolan was able to tell a story and the way he made Batman the way he should be. Kate, on the other hand, she does a pretty serviceable job, does pretty good, but the next one I'm about to get to is even better, which I'm about to show you right now for my next review. So, no need to say further, really love Batman Begins. But now on, we enter something darker. And this is not just a comic book movie anymore, this is now a crime drama. Which, of course, you can say about the first one and the third one of this trilogy. And that, my friends, I'm reviewing the one and only, one of my favorite Batman films of all time, and definitely one of my favorite films ever. And, in my opinion, my number one favorite film of 2008, The Dark Knight. Sorry, tonight, people will die. I'm a man of my word. And yes, we all know about the history of this film here. There's been many news about The Dark Knight, and everyone's been hyping about it. But of course, people were iffy about the cast of Heath Ledger as the Joker, and they're like, really? The guy from Brokeback Mountain, A Nice Tale? Really? This guy? He's gonna suck, and he's not gonna be great. And then, of course, yeah, when tragedy struck on January 22nd, 2008, he sadly passed away. It was totally unexpected. I didn't expect this to happen. And then from when the trailers come along, it was still building anticipation with it. And when that film came, they were mind blown by it. Even I will admit it, I was blown away by this movie because I'm going to explain why. And before I do that, this film is once again directed by Christopher Nolan, back for doing Batman Begins, who also co-wrote the film and co-produced it. And it has Christian Bale returning for the role as Bruce Wayne as Batman, Michael Caine as Alfred, Maggie Gyllenhaal replacing Kane Holmes as Rachel Dawes, and yet Gary Oldman returns as Commissioner Gordon. And not only do we have Heath Ledger as the Joker, we also have Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. So, and as well as Hans Zimmer and Gene Howard doing the music. So, here's how this film came to be. And oh yeah, I also have a copy of the script right there, which I got this back in 2009, and really good. As much as all the pictures of the movie. But anyway, as I was saying, like Batman Begins, the film did take inspiration from comic books and graphic novels. Mainly the main storyline they used for The Dark Knight was The Long Halloween. And for the Joker's Kubrick's appearance of the film, they were inspired by his first appearance in 1940, as well as Alan Moore's graphic novel, The Killing Joke, which I have it right here. And not only that, Christopher Nolan was also a big fan of the Michael Mann film Heat, which used that as an influence, especially the way how he shot the film in Chicago, which I actually had been to Chicago and really got to see some prequel stuff of what they filmed for both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, especially for that Batpot chase scene. And I actually did found the one where they shot the bank robbery scene for the prologue. And speaking of the bank robbery scene, when filming was beginning to go into production, Warner Brothers did attach to that bank robbery scene as an IMAX prologue, which attached to another film that was shown in IMAX, but it was not filmed in IMAX, and that is I Am Legend. And yes, even the film itself was very groundbreaking at the time for its use of the IMAX camera, which is very something. While James Cameron here may have revolutionized 3D, Christopher Nolan here, he revolutionized IMAX. And I'll tell you more what I think about the IMAX footage, because I did go see this movie in IMAX one time. And yes, of course, like I said, after filming completed, when tragedy struck, Heath Ledger passed away when he died tragically for drug overdose on January 22nd, 2008. No CGI or reshoots have altered the film because Nolan said that Heath Ledger has already completed scenes 100%. And the film made its debut on July 18, 2008, as it earned unanimous praise by critics and audiences alike, and it just grossed like $535.2 million against its $185 million budget, as well as grossing $1 billion worldwide. The film itself did earn 8 Academy Award nominations, but only took home 2 for sound editing, as well as Heath Ledger winning his Oscar Best Supporting Actor posthumously, as well as winning the Golden Globe. But sadly, the film itself did not get nominated either for Best Picture or Best Director or any other nominated this ever could have received, which that's pretty much the biggest mistake, because it should have been nominated for Best Picture. It should have been nominated for Best Picture. Well, there's Black Panther. Well, Black Panther, in my opinion, is overrated. But don't get me wrong, I like Black Panther. I really do, but I don't find that film as Best Picture worthy as this. Of course, there was Joker, which, thankfully, but that's actually more of a comic book villain and not a comic book superhero. But speaking of which, after The Dark Knight was released, it will go on to become not only one of the greatest comic movies of all time, but one of the greatest films ever made. And I first saw this movie in IMAX, and the way the film starts off with the Warner Bros. Logo and the Sync Copy logo and the legendary DC logo at the opening, the way it starts off, when you hear the Batman music, it starts to fade out a bit, like it's dying out, and then you hear the famous, iconic Joker scene, the Why Is It Serious scene. It just shows the bat symbol in flames, and then, boom, the first shot of Chicago in IMAX, and I was like, whoa. It was like a breathtaking experience, just the way how this was filmed in IMAX, and it just made it such a huge, grand, epic scale, the way how Nolan sets the camera, and especially for his DP, Wally Feaster, who works with Nolan many of his other films like Memento, Insomnia, The Prestige, Inception, as well as the Dark Knight trilogy, until he moved on with a different DP, started with a different DP in Interstellar, and now Dunkirk, and now with the same DP for Tenet, which is coming out this year. So, yeah, that first shot in IMAX, it was mind-blowing, the way it starts out like that. Where it sets the tone of the movie, it puts you in the right atmosphere, and especially what you're about to experience. And of course, yes, even William Fichtner makes an appearance in the film, which he also starred in the movie Heat. So, The Dark Knight, after seeing that film, when the film was over, I was blown away by it, especially watching it again for the first time in 4K, which it looks beautiful to watch. I started getting emotional, which each of the films I'm watching to relive this trilogy again, it just leads up to The Dark Knight Rises, which I'm looking forward to reviewing that one day, especially how emotional it keeps getting, the way how Batman's story goes, where this shows you how he begins, where he starts to fall, and especially for the next one, which I'll get to, he'll start to rise. But that'll be another time when I review The Dark Knight Rises. But I'm talking about The Dark Knight here. Christopher Nolan, you really nailed it out of the park. You still continue to make great movies. And this is another great one. This is definitely, well, you made a masterpiece of a comic book trilogy. Begins considered to be a masterpiece. This will consider to be a masterpiece. Even The Dark Knight Rises, which I'll get to, I know it will be another comic masterpiece. Because This is a masterpiece of a comic book trilogy, in my opinion. I know some of you may prefer Iron Man or Captain America. I do like the Captain America trilogy. Iron Man, not so much. I like the first two, but the third one, which I'll talk about that down the road. And of course, there's some people out there who actually don't mind the Spider-Man trilogy. And yes, I do like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. You know, they're not perfect. Well, number 2 is my favorite, but that's a good trilogy too. And yes, I'll talk about Spider-Man down the road as well. Christian Bale, I know he still gets so much flack because of his portrayal of Bruce Wayne at Batman, or mainly because of the bad voice. To me, his bad voice still doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me in Batman Begins, and I'm still not bothered by it in this one. I still think he still delivers a terrific performance for not only as Bruce Wayne, but also as Batman, especially the way how he portrays the character. We see how he starts to fall because of what the Joker's doing, and we get to see him do some crime fight detective work here, which we get to see that. And also supporting actors Morgan Freeman and Gary Oldman and Michael Caine all did their jobs very well. And Megan Gyllenhaal, well, I do like Kane Holmes. I do think Megan Gyllenhaal should have been cast at Batman Begins instead. And while I do like Kane Holmes, I do think Megan Gyllenhaal is even better. And you're just like, that should have been Richard Dawes for the first movie. That should have been Richard Dawes. Another thing I remember when I was watching it today, my brother John had told me, says, when you watch this film, The Dark Knight, you don't have to understand to watch Batman Begins in order to watch this. You know, you may want to, especially it ends on a cliffhanger for a sequel, but when you watch The Dark Knight, you can just watch it as a standalone movie, which I could totally see that. And of course, yes, we have Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face, which he's definitely a big improvement over Tommy Jones when he portrayed that character in Batman Forever, especially how goofy he was. And yes, of course, how can we forget about Heath Ledger? Of course, another one who passed away during the making of the film is special effects technician Conway Wycliffe, which you probably may never heard of. He's one of the special effects technicians while during the making of the film. He died tragically during production, just before Heath Ledger passed away. But yeah, it really sad he's no longer with us, especially the same as how we felt about when we lost Brandon Lee when he did The Crow. I thought the makeup on him looked great. It's not really the same makeup as the Jack Nicholson one, but for what it is, it really fits for this kind of character, especially for the use of scars he's given. And this Joker is so unpredictable, you don't know what he's going to do, and he is also pretty scary, actually. Especially what is happening to the world today. Something like this can actually happen because anyone, of course, can be like the Joker, because you know what he is. He really doesn't have a plan, he's unpredictable, he's an anarchy of chaos. You just really can't take your eyes off of this character here. And of course, it is sad just for how the world is when people are just like the Joker. Especially, there's a lot of cuckoo birds out there who always like to make the wrong choices and like to do things that are entirely wrong. But I know the Joker, of course, made a point that not all people are good at all, but Batman still has a defense saying, this city just showed you that it's full of people ready to leave and good. And he still continues by that, especially he's still trying to live by his code that he will not kill. Which, of course, there are parts of him he actually does kill, which, of course, he did it because he didn't have a choice, which he tries his best not to break his rules. Especially when he made the choice to save Harvey Dent, and his choice to push Harvey Dent off in order to save Commissioner Gordon's kid. But yeah. And I thought the script is very well, strongly written. Really love the script. And Hans Zimmer and Howard made a phenomenal score, especially the Joker scene, which is great. And the cinematography is glorious and breathtaking, especially with the scenes that were filmed in IMAX. Especially watching the 4K Blu-ray, it's like I really want to see this film in IMAX again. I really do. I want to see this again in IMAX, just for that experience again while it's time for nostalgia's sake. Of course, yes, I did see this movie for the second time, but this time at a regular theater, which is good, but I like seeing it in IMAX better. And the movie itself, it is 2.5 hours long, but I didn't feel like it was that long. It just gets the pace going. It really kept my interest with it. Especially when you get to the third act of the film, it's just like, we're there. So, yeah. And yes, I respect y'all for liking Black Panther, and I really do. I like Black Panther, but in my opinion, this should have been nominated for Best Picture, or heck, it would at least win one. And yes, I know Slumdog Millionaire was the winner for Best Picture, and I like that movie too, but I just like this better in my opinion. Just for my own personal taste in movies. Or for my own preference. And yeah, Heath Ledger, rest in peace. You really did deserve to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and I'm happy you won. And I'm really sorry you have to go like that. So, rest in peace, Heath Ledger. You gave such breathtaking, phenomenal, completely unpredictable. You really are the Joker. I love Nicholson. I love Mark Hamill and Joaquin Phoenix, which I'll get to. And yes, I'm not ashamed to admit I actually like Jared Leto's Joker. But if I had to pick a favorite Joker, I guess I would say this one. Well, especially I love Nicholson and Phoenix. But I really like the Joker's that you don't know who he is, where he's from. Especially when he starts telling about his family problems. You just really don't know whether or not if he's telling the truth or not, because he's quite mysterious. And the Joker, of course, you don't even know what he does if you don't know where he's from. Which I know in the films like Joker and Tim Burton's Batman, they always give him a name, like Arthur Fleck or Jack Napier, or as well as the one in Gotham. That's also a good one too. I actually like that in Gotham. Which of course he goes by the name Jerome or Jeremiah, which of course there's like two twin brothers, which is kind of interesting. But of course, even Christopher Nolan, though, he didn't want it to be like a Joker origin story, just like what Tim Burton's Batman did or what Joaquin Phoenix did. Of course, this is before the Joaquin Phoenix one. He made this Joker make it look like he just shows up, just like he did in the comic. As in, whenever something happens, out of nowhere, he just shows up just like that. So that you don't even know, like, who he is or where he's from, which makes it quite scary, especially when you get involved with such a scary, mysterious person. You really don't know what he can do. And you gotta be careful with that, because a lot of people like the Joker could do something like that, especially you don't want to get involved with the wrong people. But yeah, I could go on for hours how much I love The Dark Knight. It's definitely one of my favorite movies, and I still love it to this day. And even watching the end credits of the film, or before the end credits, I did start to tear up. And Batman Begins, I did tear up a bit during the deaths of Bruce Wayne's parents, especially how I'm experiencing this trilogy again, just like how it all started and how it all ties in together when you watch each of these films. And I just cried again just to see how it all comes to for Batman when he has to fall. But now he has to learn to pick himself up. Especially this one line I really love, which I have the script right here. If I need to read this whole dialogue for you, well, just bear with me. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. The Joker won. Harvey's prosecution, everything he fought for, everything Rachel died for, undone. Whatever chance Gotham had of fixing itself, whatever chance you gave us of fixing our city dies was Harvey's reputation. We bet it all on him. The Joker took the best of us and tore him down. People will lose all hope. No, they won't. They can never know what he did. 5 dead? 2 of them cops? We can have swept that under? No. But the Joker cannot win. Gotham needs a true hero. You can't. Yes, I can. You either die a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I can do those things, because I'm not a hero like that. I kill those people. That's what I can be. No, you can't. You're not. I'm whatever Gotham needs me to be. Call it. A hero. Not the hero we deserve. The hero we needed. Nothing less than a knight. Shiny. He'll hunt you. He'll hunt me. He'll command me. Set the dogs on me. Because what needs to happen. Because sometimes the truth isn't good enough. Sometimes people deserve more. Batman! Batman! Why is he running, Dad? Because we have to chase him. Okay, we're going there. Go, go. He didn't do anything wrong. Why, Dad? Why? Because he's the hero that Gotham deserves, not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him, because he can take it. Because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. And that will be the next one, which I'll review next. The Dark Knight Rises. But to wrap up here, The Dark Knight is a cinematic masterpiece of all comic films, and rightfully so, it deserves an A+. Love this movie. So, that's 2 down for Nolan's trilogy. And now I gotta review one more just to wrap up all my reviews of the Batman movies and lead up to a bonus for my review of Joaquin Phoenix's performance for Joker. This is coming up next, and you'll see us soon one day. One day I will review The Dark Knight Rises. So I can finish up reviewing Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. But anyway, that's my review of The Dark Knight, and let me know what is your favorite scene of The Dark Knight, and what do you think of Heath Ledger's portrayal as the Joker? And let me know what you think of this video. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. Feel free to put your comments down below, and don't forget the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you later.